Almost all of us are faced with big decisions in life, and sometimes because we need a change in some part of our life or our whole life or whatever. And yet so many of us end up making the wrong decision. I did it big time a couple of decades ago. And when I was ready to change it again because I didn't get it right the first time, I thought, how can I make sure I don't make that same mistake? Well, lo and behold, I found the answer. And it comes from one of the most brilliant minds that ever walked on planet Earth. And yet it is something that is easily applied and used by all of us. And I gotta tell you, it is the key to success. Want to know more? Stay tuned.
Helping you find your new way forward to the best years of your life. This is a New Way Forward podcast with Paul Long.
Hey, it's Paul. Be sure to keep watching because towards the end of the video, I put this all together into a formula that you can use and will work for you. I'm going to go ahead and give you the quote, but more importantly, how to apply it to your life. And it comes from Albert Einstein. And it's that you cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. Here's what that means more deeply than that. And you might be saying, well, it's not like I've got a problem. I just need to make a big decision. This still applies. Very often, and I am a victim, a self-inflicted victim of this, very often our challenge, our shortcomings, our difficulty in making the right decision or the right choice comes because of old thinking, our own old thinking. It's amazing how much we have to keep up with technology and such, but we sometimes don't keep up with how society's changing, the world is changing, and how we're changing. Or we get stuck with old false beliefs that inhibit us, or it's just a lack of awareness. And so that's that old thinking. That's that brain that either got you into this position that you don't want to be in the first place, or it's going to inhibit you from making the change or making the decision that you need to make. Let me give you an example. Let me be the poster boy of what to avoid. So back in 1989, I was in television news. I was having a very successful career. I had wanted to be in broadcasting since I was in a newsroom when I was 2 weeks old, but since I was a little kid, I had always wanted to do it. For a while, I loved it, and the news was going to hell. It was, back then, it was mostly sensationalism, if it bleeds, it leads, that kind of crap. The politics thing hadn't even started yet. And I knew I couldn't keep doing this. And also, Kim and I knew that, it was about time to start a family. And so I'm like, I got to figure out, what am I going to do instead? Well, the upshot of the story is that I did a lot of thinking, I did a lot of research, but I had limited and old thinking applying. And really all I did was like, well, what can I succeed at? Well, the answer I came up with kind of destined me for the next 3 decades. And yes, I was successful at it, but it was the wrong choice. I never, ever should have done it. And so jump ahead to 2010, 2011, and it's like, I'm really getting done with this stuff. I need to make a better decision now. And that's when Einstein and then his buddy Max Planck, who was another Nobel Prize winning physicist, came up with quantum theory, and they worked on the theory about relativity together. But I'm like, I can't use that same old thinking. I can't use that same old approach. And this saved my life because my future life I'm talking about, because it set me on a better path. So the first thing that I did is I'm like, you know what? I need to take a step back. And in the first place, I need to have an awareness of what's going on out there in the world. Especially, I'm getting older, I'm approaching retirement age. So what are older people doing? And here's the thing. Everything I learned was different than what I expected. I thought, oh, well, traditional retirement looks pretty good, idyllic. And then I found out that the mega trend was people after a year or two, the retirement honeymoon, were having the retirement nightmare because they were lacking purpose and relevance and fulfillment and meaning in life, that you can only play so much golf and travel so much, blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, that's scary. Well, what's everybody else doing? And then I find out that people are reimagining, reconsidering, and redesigning their lives, that they're taking advantage of the longevity revolution. I didn't know there was one. That, especially living with purpose and relevance and taking really good care of yourself and designing a life that's ideal for you, you can be healthy, active, and independent and fulfilled into your 90s. That's for me. I didn't know that. External awareness, but then I needed internal awareness. My internal awareness was like, what is it I really want? And what is it I really need in life? And what does that look like? How do I manifest that? And I came, once you get going, your brain and the universe conspires with you, because I was really like, what do I want? How do I want to feel every morning when I wake up 20 years from now? I came up with the most foundational things I could possibly think of. Which was number one, I woke up. Yeah, that's pretty foundational. Um, I love what I'm doing. I'm excited about my life. I'm living with purpose. I'm excited about the day. I'm in great health. I don't have any big health problems, so I can do anything I want to do, and I don't have to worry about money. Basic line. Instead of, what am I good at? What am I not good at? What do I want? What do I not want? Which is a fine list to do, but it's not time to do that in the beginning. See, what I'm doing is I'm changing that mind, kind of toward Einstein's point. I'm changing that mind to realize, really, what do I want and what do I need, and what's going on out there in the world. So that's where his buddy Max Planck came in, because this is a quote that is, I've even done another video just on this quote, and it's worth watching. Make it your next one. I'll put it down in the comment section or in the description. But he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So what did I do? I changed the way that I was thinking. I was changing the way that I looked at things, because I was identifying them and I was finding them out. And lo and behold, that made all the difference in the world, because by doing that external and then self-awareness at the beginning, I had the information and I had the awareness that I needed in order to either make a decision, which might be your case, or to find the new way forward that was ideal for me. My definition of new way forward is you're moving forward in a life that is aligned with what you want and need and desire in life. And I started out with that six basics or five basic things that I felt every morning that became a filter. Oh, well, what about this? Well, that's not good for the health. What about this? Well, it ain't going to help me on the financial, whatever. I created a baseline. And then what you would think would be the hard part, which is like, okay, you've got all this information, you've got all this perspective, you've identified these things about your life, now you got to figure out what to do. All of a sudden I realized the options that I had. My biggest decision was, or challenge was, which one of these do I take advantage of? But the bottom line is, it became this, at least in terms of the purpose and relevance and career kind of thing. It's this new way forward thing, being on YouTube stuff, doing all the stuff that I'm doing. But it was also identifying, what did I want my life to look like and be like. And by the time I realized it, which wasn't long after I'd kind of wrapped up so much of that awareness stuff, even though I continue it to this day, everything just fell into place. And it feels right. By the way, do I sometimes doubt myself? Do I sometimes wonder if I did the right thing? Could it have been something else? Hell yeah. I'm human. Uh, Not many of us can have that level of focus or commitment. But all in all, I know I made the right decision and I know that I took the right approach. Hey, if it's good enough for Albert Einstein and Max Planck, yeah, I guess it's good enough for me. Okay, so despite the fact that I was terrible in algebra, I mean, let alone trigonometry and physics, forget it. But I still thought that I would take the mindset of Einstein and Max Planck and turn it into a formula that would work for me and work for you in terms of figuring out a life change or overcoming a problem or coming up with a solution, getting out of a dilemma or whatever. And so here's what I came up with, and I think it works really well. So you take you and you add desire and need and want. In other words, what is it you really desire and need and want in terms of an outcome? And you subtract old thinking. In other words, you say, maybe some of my thinking is outdated or I've got beliefs that are false or whatever. I need to get past that and have new, updated thinking. This is bringing awareness to yourself, the world, and the situation, and really looking at it before you make any decision or come up with an option. And then you divide that by time, effort, and attention. Because especially at the beginning, if you put a lot of time and effort in thinking about this and bringing awareness to it, your brain gets focused on it, conspires with you because you put your attention there. And you add all of that together and it equals foundational thinking, the basic perspective, knowledge, awareness that you need in order to make that great choice, that great decision that gives you the solution that's ideal for you. So try this yourself. Be honest with yourself saying, you know what, I really need to make sure that I don't go in with a stale, old, outdated mindset in total or in different aspects of it. I need to be open to broadening my awareness to the world and situation around me and what my needs and desires are and what my thinking is. This is the number one thing that I talk about with retirement. Traditional retirement, people just automatically assuming that it's nirvana and it's wonderful. And I told you what I discovered. That was using that old thinking. It's getting a lot of people in trouble, or not at least making minor adjustments to it to make sure they had some of the things that might have been missing otherwise. It's having your mind open to the universe and the possibilities that exist for all of us if we change the way that we look at things, so the things we look at change into the way that fits a new way forward that's ideal for us.
Learn more ways to enhance your life and discover a new way forward that's perfect for you by watching these videos or any others on my channel. Oh, and be sure to subscribe.